Hey guys, Clumsy here. Long time no see. Welcome back to Explain. It has been a while, I'll be honest. But I finally got the itch. I've been experimenting with the 1150 beta for Vulcan. And I've been flying with the TBM 900 for a while. I missed flying GA, so much so that we are actually now back in FSEconomy. And I was finally able to buy my first ever plane, the TBM 900. Well, it's TBM 850 in here because there's no 900 in FSEconomy, but it's close enough. And this is our own now. Our plan for today is to make it from Echo Golf Oscar Victor. I think this is an Air Force base. Making our way to Glasgow. Now maybe I can show you. I've started using little nav map as well. So that's the flight plan for today. We are in the UK. So that's how it will look. We start from here in Raff Valley. Echo Golf Oscar Victor, making our way northeast to Glasgow. Echo Golf Papa Foxtrot. Yes. And yeah, I like little nav map because it allows you to get all the details you need, including the airport diagram itself. And this is perfectly synchronized with Explain. So whatever Explain sees, this is what's reflected in here. All the taxiways, all the runways. So you have it 1:1. Not like when you're using the charts from Navigraph, although that is very realistic. Sometimes the taxiways don't coincide with what is in Explain because of some discrepancies. Anyway, I think we're good here. I did set up the flight plan already. That has also been imported from little nav map. So that should be reflected and similar to what we have. Let's go ahead and get our clearance. Now I'll try and hand fly this as much as possible. So I'll need my co-pilot's help here to take care of the radios. Let's go and start.
RAF Valley Information Bravo. 700 Zulu weather.
Information Bravo.
Wind light and variable. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 11.
Sky clear indeed.
Area QNH 1026.
1026.
Arriving runways 31.
I did set that already.
Departing runways 3126.
Departing runways 3126.
On initial contact you have Bravo.
We have Bravo. Nice. Right, let's switch to tower. And then let's let our co-pilot do the getting the clearance and everything.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango ready to copy IFR clearance.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango is cleared to Echo Golf Papa Foxtrot as filed. Expect departure runway 31.
31.
Climb and maintain flight level 040.
040.
Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Squawk 5244.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango is cleared to Echo Golf Papa Foxtrot as filed. Climb and maintain flight level 040. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Squawk 5244.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango readback correct. QNH is 1026. Let us know when you are ready to taxi.
QNH is 1026 TBM 1 Kilo Tango.
Looks good. And in case you're not familiar with what I'm using, I'm actually using Pilot to ATC. That is the offline ATC application that I'll always love using. Okay. Starting the auxiliary fuel pump. Start the timer. Clear. Starter. At 13% NG, start introducing fuel. And from here we observe NG should reach 30% by 30 seconds. ITT should not go beyond the red, otherwise that's a hot start. 30 by 30, we have achieved that. We continue observing it until we reach 50% NG. Looking good. We go to flight idle and start the inertial separator. Somehow, I think the inertial separator is already on. Looking good. Generator on. Nav lights on. Aux fuel pump is auto. We could just go through the flow here. Bleed is auto. Air conditioning auto. Looking good there. And you see that gentle shake of the cabin? That's thanks to XP Realistic. I love XP Realistic, especially in GA planes. Absolutely wonderful experience. Right, let's go and zoom that out a bit. So get a bit more visibility on here. Alright, I think we are good there. Plane looks good. Let's go ahead and enable track IR so I can look around much more organic. Alright, let's go and taxi. Let's request that first.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango ready to taxi.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango taxi to runway 31 hold short runway 31.
Taxi to runway 31 hold short runway 31 TBM 1 Kilo Tango.
31. Alright. Well, we will be crossing runway 26, but I don't think we were asked to hold short anywhere there. So let's just release the parking brake. Go into the taxi range here. See that gentle shake. And we can also start wearing our headgear now. Our headsets, so we can mute the sound of the engine and focus more on the communications. Man, I missed flying. And this is in preparation for the upcoming, I'm sure everyone has heard it by now, Flight Sim 2020 releasing August 18. I will definitely be getting that. And I'm happy that the TBM 930 is included in that package. I think the TBM 930 includes the auto throttle already, so that's going to be an amazing addition. Even more automation. Let's make sure that the trims are correctly set. Rudder trim somewhere in between takeoff and the green line. That one. Takeoff trim. And flaps to take off. That's one notch down. You see that lowering there. Looking good. Crossing runway 26. Clear left. Clear right. Let's go and check the flight controls. Other side. Looks good. Free and clear controls. Looks good. Let's turn on the flight directors. And maybe let's stay in the center line here. Maybe that's a good practice, huh? Man. So how have you guys been? Have you been flying as well? It's been a bit of a roller coaster ride. I know there were a lot of requests to have more X-Plane videos, but I have been in the beta ever since it came out, and I didn't want to go back to OpenGL, the 1141 version, so I stayed in 1150 beta all throughout. But it's been a very bumpy ride. Lots of bugs because it is a beta, understandably, but yeah, it's been an amazing experience. I mean, Vulcan is just leaps and bounds better than OpenGL, and yeah, I can never go back. Only sometimes it's game breaking when they implement something new in the beta, but I think we are very close to a release candidate now. We are currently at beta 15. That's the latest beta as of this recording, and so far it's looking good. Although I have to be honest, I have not done a flight with this yet, so we will see together if that works. Also, the things you hear as we're taxiing, that shaking cabin sound, I really like that. That's part of XP Realistic. Just adds to the ASMR-ish feels. Slow down here as we make our turn. That's the hold short line right there with the lights.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango advise when ready for departure.
Wilco TBM 1 Kilo Tango.
Right. Let's go and slow down here. I did have to disable a couple of other add-ons. Landing lights. Let's turn on the heaters. Everything looks good here. Trims are set. Takeoff flaps are set. Yes, we are ready for departure. Let's go and signal that.
Tower TBM 1 Kilo Tango ready for departure runway 31.
As I mentioned, I will try to hand fly this because
TBM 1 Kilo Tango winds are light and
such an
variable,
amazing
cleared for
experience.
takeoff. Runway 31 maintain runway heading until above 1000 feet, then turn right heading 020 to intercept course.
Cleared for takeoff. Runway 31 maintain runway heading until above 1000 feet, then right to 020 TBM 1 Kilo Tango.
020. So runway heading until 1000 feet, then right turn to 020. So I'll mark that now here. But we'll try and maintain runway heading, which is 313 degrees, until we go beyond 1000 feet. Because we don't have a SID, a departure. So it's the runway heading and then joining the waypoint, following the flight plan we have set and aligned. Runway 31 looks good here. Runway 31 heading 313. Winds are light and variable. Looks good. Alright. So holding the brakes here. Around 50% torque. Prop RPM should go up to 2000. There it is, 2000. Let the brakes go and push toga so we have proper flight director guidance. Set torque up to around 80 to 90%. Stay in the center line. Whoa, that's so bumpy. 90 knots, rotate. And we are up. Tap the brakes. Positive rate, gear up. Lovely. Just going to follow this for a while. Looking good. And yeah, the flight model in X-Plane is just unbelievably realistic. That feeling as some like wind gusts and affects your plane. And you have to react quickly and adjust. It's just a totally different experience. Here we go. 1000 feet. Heading. So we go to runway heading 020 rather. Let's also switch to flight level change. Flight level change to 124 knots is the best, I believe, rate of climb for this plane. And I'm hand flying it. But I think by now we should be able to actually set the flaps up, turn on the yaw damper at least. Looking good. And I think
TBM 1 Kilo Tango climb and maintain flight level 110.
Climb and maintain flight level 110 TBM 1 Kilo Tango.
I think we should
TBM
have
1 Kilo Tango contact Valley Radar Director on 123.3. Good day.
Radar Director on 123.3 TBM 1 Kilo Tango.
We should have followed the GPS already after we crossed it.
Radar Director TBM 1 Kilo Tango climbing to flight level 110.
110.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango, good morning. Radar contact.
So hard to multitask. 110, switch to standard altimeter, standard QNH. There we go. And all of this is with Orbx sceneries. We actually were lucky. This doesn't happen often. It don't have any clouds whatsoever, so we get great performance and great views of the sceneries below. This is so scenic. Let's try and have a look below. Yeah, there you go. Only problem with hand flying the plane is it's so hard to go to external view like this. So by the time I go back, probably are so far away already from where we should be. Let's go and increase the range here. We're actually going to be flying over, if you see that little island there, I think that is the Isle of Man. I think I've been there in Truck Sim. But yeah, it would be nice to see how it looks from above. And if that's included in Orbx, I'm not so sure, but we'll be able to distinguish that definitely as we fly over it. How long would this flight be? That's a good question. We should be able to see that in the flight plan here. Should be somewhere. Turn wide here. Oh. Can't see it. You see it? Well, we have the ETA. So right now it's 9:34 local time. We should be arriving at 11 a.m. Okay. So around 1 hour plus. Should be fine. Switch back to that view. Okay, we're starting to get some clouds here. And yeah, it has been a very bumpy ride in the beta. Never know when you have a full flight or not. That's the price of being in the beta, but yeah, I'm happy to say we've come so far. Had a lot of updates since. The latest update 11.50 improved the performance, at least for me, and especially when it comes to the cloud rendering. Because in beta 14, there were a lot of problems and performance issues with the clouds. I'm currently using Cloud Art.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango climb and maintain flight level 170.
Climb and maintain flight level 170 TBM 1 Kilo Tango.
170. There we go. That's set. Still hand flying the plane. Absolutely love it. Flying the plane by hand instead of on autopilot, you get to feel it better. And I know I was saying bad things before about the yoke that I have. It's a pretty cheap yoke, CH Eclipse. I kept blaming it for my bad performance, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's just the pilot really flying bad. So after I got more practice with it, it feels so much better now. It actually feels like there is feedback from the plane because of the springs. So it's a very cheap yoke, but not bad at all to start with. For sure not like those which have which are more high-end, but I'll take it. Feels so good, especially combined with all the different things that we have going on, like the weather data from ActiveSky, you know, the turbulence, and how turbulence is, for example, reflected in XP Realistic, where you have everything shaking and have those sounds which make you more nervous. We'll see if we encounter some of those. But they all add to the experience. And yeah, it makes everything just feel so real when you're in the plane. Especially once we start our descent and make our approach to the airport. It's going to be so cool. While we are climbing here, let me try and load up Echo Golf Papa Foxtrot. That's Glasgow.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango contact Manchester Centre on 118.77. Have a good morning.
Center on 118.77. Take care TBM 1 Kilo Tango.
And yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I messed up a lot during the takeoff. Probably raised the
Center
flaps.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango climbing to flight level 170.
overshot my
TBM
turn.
1 Kilo Tango, good morning.
All the problems,
Radar
and now
contact.
actually, because of all my talking, forgot to turn off inertial separator here. And if you look at the torque, it's at 54%. Once we turn off inertial separator, that should climb up. So we have to monitor that it doesn't go over 100%. But since we are climbing here, we should be able to afford increasing the throttle a lot more, getting a lot more thrust and more power in there, less air resistance.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango, climb and maintain flight level 230.
230.
Climb and maintain flight level 230 TBM 1 Kilo Tango.
Our final cruising altitude will be flight level 290. I think it's the highest altitude that TBM can handle. Not bad for a single engine plane. But yeah, this plane is just so versatile. It has that right balance of being a GA plane but being capable enough of doing longer flights than the typical GA plane you can imagine. You know, at a single engine. It's a good way to start things off. You get that bit of luxury, but you don't get overwhelmed with having two engines and all the complexities that includes, like matching the prop RPMs and all that kind of stuff. So you don't have to be as worried about it. But still, there is a lot to learn. So yeah, I'm happy enough sticking with this plane. Initially, during the 4th of July sale, I was thinking of buying a new plane. Maybe getting one of the rep planes, get a PC-12. But at the end of the day, it's just... yeah, I decided to stick with this since I have this plane already. I'm forgetting a lot of things today. Could have turned off the landing lights after 10,000 feet. But that's how it is when you talk and record at the same time as you're flying. You tend to forget a lot of things. This is why in a normal operation, especially in airliners, you have two pilots, right? And the pilot flying will really be focused on flying the plane. The pilot monitoring will take care of the radios,
climb and maintain flight level 290.
And everything else.
Climb and maintain flight level 290 TBM 1 Kilo Tango.
290, there we go. Cruising altitude. Hopefully I have not forgotten anything else. You will see how that looks later on. But yeah, I don't think I've missed anything major. At least we're still flying. A couple of minor things delayed. Landing lights, inertial separator. So we don't get as much performance. And now speaking of performance, I can increase the torque yet again. Push that up to around 90% so we get a more powerful climb here. We're sticking with the same speed in terms of indicated airspeed, that is 124 knots, but the climb rate is going to increase tremendously as we increase thrust like so. We're actually climbing at 2,700 feet per minute. That is looking pretty good. And yeah, one plugin I had to disable was the 3J FPS. That was one of my favorite plugins before. But recently it's been a bit problematic. I've also read a comment from 3J himself, the plugin author, he says that with the new implementation in Vulkan, I think it relates to VSync. I'm not very familiar with the technical details, but because of the changes, it's not advisable to use the application, the plugin, because it doesn't have full visibility on the frame rate anymore. Like before, 3J FPS, what it would do is it would reduce the details, reduce some aspects of the graphical settings depending on your current frame rate. So when you get lower frame rate, then it will lower the settings for you behind the scenes and you hardly notice it changing, so it's perfect. But now with the change in Vulkan, with the latest beta, so let's start pitching down here. We are reaching our cruising altitude, flight level 290, and you can see the airspeed starting to increase there, and I'll have to push forward on the yoke a lot and start trimming it so that we are flying level here, like so. There we go, that's looking good, bit by bit. Yeah, this is something I'm starting to learn, like how you focus on your primary flight controls first. The ailerons, the stabilizer, before you trim anything. Trimming is a secondary flight control, isn't it? So it should act like so. Because before I was misguided, didn't know how it worked, so I trimmed immediately and it caused a lot of instability in the flight. So now I move the yoke, move to where I want to be, and then when I'm there, like here on the flight director, I then set the trim. You might hear that faint clicking bit by bit until it relieves the pressure on the yoke. Right now I'm feeling the springs work against me, and I have to continuously trim. If you look at the MFD, that trim would go more and more to the down position, because that's what I'm doing, one click at a time, until I finally relieve all the pressure there. But yeah, I try to do this very slowly, just so I can feel every bit of change in the aircraft, and it just feels so good, feels so immersive that way, being able to hand fly it like so, and just letting the co-pilot take care of the communications. Now for these kinds of GA planes, they allow single pilot. I'm not at that level yet. I cannot handle the comms and taking care of being aware of your surroundings, handling the flight controls. Maybe I can do that if I use autopilot, but hand flying the plane and taking care of all of that, I think even a real pilot would have a hard time. I've also been watching a lot of videos in YouTube, Aviation 101 videos in particular, Josh's videos. Not sure if you guys are watching that as well. He flies a Cessna 172 and has amazing videos. Recently he came out with this what is this called, AQP. It's basically like safety procedures for GA pilots, like what they do in airlines, where they have all the scenarios for possible failure, and they practice all of them: engine failure, rejected takeoffs, terrain. So all those things are not as practiced as much in the GA world, and it's astounding and heartbreaking to see the stats. Like, don't quote me on this, but from what I remember, he compared like the past couple of years, the number of fatal incidents in the GA industry versus the airline industry. It's like thousands in the GA, like 3,000 in the GA industry over the years, and compared to the airline industry where they only had like 4. So there is a wide difference, very huge gap in terms of safety protocols and procedures. And yeah, it makes a lot of sense to put in the same level of scrutiny and safety even in GA planes, even if it's smaller. But anyway, yeah, I've been learning a lot about the different safety procedures, and not that I know how to do them myself, but at least I am aware that there is such a thing and I need to focus more on that. And yeah, one thing they say is you always have to focus on flying the plane. That's number one thing. And they always say that, right? Aviate, navigate, communicate. But at the thick of things, you tend to forget it. Oh, lovely clouds there from cloud art. It does get a bit framey. You can feel the frame rate dropping as you look there. But my goodness, that's as good as you can get 2D clouds. Above here, need to trim a bit more. Pitch and trim. There you go. So yeah, in the thick of things, you tend to forget, like when you're flying the plane and you have an emergency or something is not going right, you try to get a handle on it. But at the same time, if air traffic control is reaching out to you, telling you to do something, then you tend to panic. And if you're not familiar with how it is, if you don't practice enough, then you might get flustered. And you might follow ATC even if it doesn't really make sense in your current emergency situation. So the tip is to always prioritize flying the plane and tell ATC to give you some space. Tell them you're in an emergency. So priority is always yourself first, and then follow ATC if it allows, but just let them know what you're going through. That's, I think, the basic concept of it. And it's so nice to see the different technologies we have. Like I think all the YouTubers I watch in the aviation industry, in the GA aviation industry, have the ForeFlight app in their iPads. I have not seen a pilot who doesn't have it. I guess it's just that useful. From flight planning to synthetic vision to terrain avoidance, all those things they have. And with the G1000 here in front of us, we have those as well integrated into the plane. Maybe sometimes not as pretty, but no, I'll take it. Alright, let me have a look here. We are seeing a dot here, so that means our top of descent is coming soon. In 2 minutes. That's a bit different from what Pilot to ATC has for me. So if I look through in Pilot to ATC, it tells me I'm descending in 5 minutes. Not sure which one to follow, but I think I'll follow my own flight plan because Pilot to ATC has been a bit weird recently. With the smaller airports, it seems to get a bit confused when the top of descent is. And oftentimes I've noticed that it doesn't really give me a proper descent instruction, like it forgets, and I just am left to my own devices. So what I'll do is I'll request en route descent when we are ready to do so. I won't wait for him. There you go. So that's the 1 minute mark. So what I'll do is I will request this to ATC.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango would like an en route descent.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango descend and maintain flight level 290.
What?
Descend and maintain flight level 290 TBM 1 Kilo Tango.
Okay, that's probably because I wasn't in 290.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango at pilot discretion. Descend and maintain flight level 030.
030.
Descend and maintain flight level 030 TBM 1 Kilo Tango.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango maintain flight level 030.
Yeah, see? Pilot to ETC is not perfect. I'm not sure when it does that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But it's a bit weird. Let's enable VNav here. Let's arm it. 030. There you go. See the vertical path right there. And now we start our descent. Like so. So I push forward on the yoke. I lower my thrust. Push back on the throttle. Or pull it back rather. Make sure I don't go beyond the torque 100%.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango contact Scottish Centre on 119.87. Enjoy your morning.
Center on 119.87 TBM 1 Kilo Tango.
The synthetic vision that comes with this plane is absolutely amazing.
Center TBM 1 Kilo
You can see
Tango
the land
descending
below.
to 3,000 feet.
Even if in reality you still have
TBM
full
1
cloud
Kilo
cover.
Tango, good morning. Radar contact.
Right, let's just follow this. And while doing that, one hand on the yoke, one hand on the tablet. Let's go and load up. The approach. Our approach will be ILS 23. Can I pop that up here? Yeah, that's going to be easier for me. So I don't have to look down. ILS 23. VOR ILS DME. That's the one. At the same time, let me also load the airport itself. Okay, looks good. Alright. So we are following this approach. We'll be joining it via the Glasgow VOR. So if we follow this one, let me try and understand this. Yeah, the airports in the UK, I noticed, seem to like this kind of approach where you go to the locator, you fly above the airport itself, and then do some kind of backtrack, and then turn, like make a U-turn and join the final approach, heading like so. But yeah, you always tend to fly above the airport at a certain altitude. That's the starting point of the approach. So in here, let me see if I understand this. So we are going to go to Glasgow VOR. I think I chose actually the NDB. So this is Glasgow NDB here, GLW, instead of Glasgow VOR GOW. Maybe I should have picked the VOR. Yeah, so this one, that's why it says VOR ILS DME or NDB ILS DME, because VOR is this one, the 115.4, and the NDB is this one, the 331. Okay, either way. So we start off with the locator at 3,000 feet. So we go here at 3,000 feet, and then we go heading 049 or track 049. So we head northeast. One sec, let me fly the plane, because I am going way too low here. There you go. From there, 049 track all the way to 12.1 DME. Is that right? Here. And then make a right turn to track 229. So it's basically like a pattern. Like you go right downwind, turn right base, and final. Yeah, track 229. And then we capture the ILS from there. pretty straightforward, and we should be able to follow the guidance from the flight plan here, as I've loaded that already. Minimums 221 feet. Missed approach procedure, climb to 3000. Initially straight ahead to 2500, so we climb straight to 2500. Right turn. Oh, multitasking is hard. Trying to follow it though, doing my best. Straight ahead to 2500 to DME 2.6, whichever is later. Then climbing turn left to hold at VOR or locator at 3000 feet or as directed. Okay, so it's like go straight 2500 or to this 2.6 DME, turn left towards the Glasgow, either VOR or NDB, and hold there until advised otherwise. And I am trying to study this because at any point we might have to go around. If I am not doing a stable approach, then going around is the safer bet. Even if and even if we are in a flight simulator only, it's nice to simulate that as much as possible. If you look at my torque, we're almost at 97%. As we continue our descent, that gets higher and higher on its own, so I have to pull back on the throttle to make sure I don't go beyond that. Everything's still looking good though. Just keep at it. Looking good. And if you look at the airport here, runway 23 is where we'll be making our approach. The runway length is 8,743 feet, so more than enough space for us, no problems there. I'll probably try and exit via taxiway Delta. And where can we park? GA apron is right there. So we'll make our way to the GA apron if we can. That's the plan. We'll see if that can be a thing. Alright. Trying to look at little nav map here on my other screen. Alright, I think that's good. I have to start trimming again, but now at least I have full attention back to the flying. If I look at my MFD here, everything is in the green. Fuel is good, pressure, torque, NG, oil pressure and everything is A-okay. Everything in the green, no warnings on the CAS. Right. Happy enough with that. Do we have ATIS in Glasgow? Let me see. I am a bit high. Looks like the text also changed, the font. It got a lot better because I did just update my AviTab with the latest beta. There were some changes, and yeah, the author for AviTab, was it Folco? He made some quick changes and now it works, and now it actually looks good. Easier to read font. I think the font changed as well. Recorded messages, Glasgow information 129, decimal 575. Let's go and track that one. See if we can get any information on the ATIS already. 575. Enable COM2.
Glasgow information.
There we go. Charlie.
800 Zulu weather. Wind 250 at 5.
250 at 5.
Sky clear. Temperature 11, 2.7. Area QNH 1025.
1025.
Arriving runway to 3.
23.
Departing runway to 3.
Perfect.
Advise on initial contact you have Charlie.
Alright, we have Charlie. QNH is 1025. I like to set that up in the standby thing here. Standby PFD. What do you call it? Just so I remember what the local QNH is. Because right now I'm still at standard QNH. And looks like we are all set. Runway 23 is the arrival. And looks good. Here we are. Getting a bit framey with Orbx sceneries and all these clouds. I bet it would even get worse as the cloud cover thickens. But yeah, that's the problem usually. Set the trim. Just trying to follow the flight plan here. The flight directors. And now we can zoom in. Also, you might see in the MFD a couple of black diamonds. Those are actually AI planes as part of traffic
TBM
global.
1 Kilo Tango contact Glasgow approach on 119.1. Have a good one. Approach on 119.1 TBM 1 Kilo Tango.
It's good. It's close to range here. Yeah, sometimes you'll be able to see some if they're like less than 10 miles
approach
from
TBM
you.
1 Kilo Tango descending to 3,000 feet.
You see those planes visually.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango, good morning. Radar contact.
So far, so good. Just keep it steady. Yeah, you see so many planes there. With the recent update in Traffic Global, it works now with the latest beta 1150, beta 15. It works fine, and they implemented a new TCAS system. So before you were limited to 19 planes, 19 blips on your radar. Now it's, I don't know how many, but so many. If I zoom out as much as I can, you'll see all those diamonds. Well, if it finishes loading, that is where did all the clouds go? Okay, maybe they got shy of me. 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and turn on the landing lights. The landing lights thing, I'm not sure where. So it seems to change. Like for airliners, they turn that on 10,000 feet. But some GA planes, even those flying in the UK, I've seen some videos, they only turn on their landing lights when they're really about to land as part of the approach checklist. So I'm not sure really which is which, but we'll play it safe. Better safe than sorry. It doesn't hurt to turn it on, I guess. Yeah, all those blips you see, thanks to Traffic Global. Unfortunately, Pilot to ATC doesn't see those yet. So if there is ever someone, even if they're in front of us, they're landing or we are at risk of hitting them, coming close, Pilot to ATC doesn't see that, so they don't give any indication at all that we are close to them. It's a bit weird. Oh, what city is that? There's also an update in... No, let's focus. Let's focus because I can go sightseeing, but with everything that I need to do, I will for sure miss some items again if I keep on getting... But that just looks so awesome though. It's okay. We will take care of that later. So 3,000 feet. And going down to 2,900 feet as the final approach fix. Okay, that's very close. Let me adjust my mic here. That looks good. Alright. Come on. We have not been cleared yet for the ILS approach. look at how beautiful that is. If you have the right sceneries. Yeah. Some visuals can really match even what you see in Flight Sim 2020. That looks so good. Look at those interchanges. Humongous roundabouts there. Okay, let's focus on flying the plane now. Catching up to that vertical profile. That looks good. Steady, steady. Keep it steady. Good. Let's zoom in on this so we have visibility on the flight plan. I might have to do some kind of approach here. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll let the flight director guide me, but I'm not sure how I can go to that 049 track like this one. We are approaching the NDB, but I'll have to go 049 that way on this side. So I'm not sure if I'll have to if I can go straight there, or if I'll have to do some kind of approach like a teardrop or some kind of VOR approach. Make a U-turn there and follow it. I'm not sure how you do that in real life, but we'll just follow whatever the flight director tells us to be on the safer side. Inertial separator on. So we are descending here to protect ourselves against possible bird strikes or other artifacts coming into the intake, to protect our engine as much as possible. Glasgow is up ahead. You can see that in the synthetic vision. See those indicators there. That's an airport. We don't see which one it is yet, but basing on the radar here, that is Glasgow. Inertial separator is on. Looking good. Stick to 3,000 feet here. I guess when I was setting my flight plan, I should have set 3,000 feet upon reaching Glasgow. That's fine. Now we have not been cleared yet for the approach still, which is a bit weird. Sometimes pilot to ATC does weird things. Might have to do some weird things on my own as well. Let me activate that. There you go. It's mostly similar. But it will change later as we go. So good from below. It does get a bit framey though. We're only at 21 FPS now. This is where 3G FPS would normally help, reducing the viewing distance and all that stuff to maintain 30 FPS. Maybe I have to enable it again. But right now, if we don't look around too much, it doesn't hurt that much, does it? When I look around like this, that's when you feel the frame drops. Looks pretty good. Let's keep the speed. Looks like there is an aircraft departing from the airport, from what I see. Is there? Let's have a look at it. Where's the airport? There. Yeah, there's a plane there. See? And we're flying right above the airport. Zoom in there a bit. Alright. Actually, with weather this good, we don't really need the ILS approach. We can do a visual. We should have been able to do a visual approach here if we requested for it.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango cleared for the ILS approach to runway 23 with the GLW transition.
There we go.
Cleared for the ILS approach to runway 23 with the GLW transition TBM 1 Kilo Tango.
Awesome. Let's just follow that. So it looks like we won't even be following the 049er track. We're just going straight to that waypoint. Like so. I wonder if that's really how they do it. Doesn't look right to me, but okay. Also, it's a bit weird. Yeah, it seems like the flight plan isn't following the... Should be at 3,000 already by now. Let me double check how it is programmed in here. 2,900 feet. Yeah, it should be. Maybe because I didn't arm it. I didn't execute it. Let's go and do that. Enter. So with that, it should recognize that as a proper altitude to follow. And I guess that would trigger the proper descent as necessary. Yeah, look at that. So now that I executed it, and wow, I'm way off the mark here. Why is the flight director so confused though? Huh. Alright, let's follow the flight director. That's a bit weird. Maybe it's trying to follow that 049er track inbound to that waypoint. Let's see what it's planning. But yeah, if you look at this, that's the top of descent, that dot there, where my mouse is. And that only came about when I executed that vertical restriction of 2,900. Okay. Seems to be closing in now. Alright, there you go. So even though the lines here don't correspond to 049er, it seems like the GPS itself does. So it's telling us to go straight and turn right only now. And I guess at the end of the day, this will be a 049er track that we're going to follow towards that waypoint. Oh, this is pretty close to this mountain. Pretty scary. This hill. Wonder how high this is. But this is my favorite part.
Vertical track.
As we're doing the approach and getting close to the ground here, where you see more of what's happening below. And each maneuver you do has a more dramatic effect. It's much more exciting than when you're way high up and you don't feel the wind as much, or rather you don't see the effect in relation to the ground as much.
Track.
Yeah, going to start our descent soon. Now, final approach course is 229er. Let me adjust that in the heading bug already. 229er. There you go, 229er. Alright, here we are.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango QNH is 1025 at Glasgow. Contact tower on 118.8. Enjoy your morning.
QNH is 1025 tower on 118.8 TBM 1 Kilo Tango.
Oh, that's a huge difference when we switch from standard to local QNH.
Tower
way
TBM 1
different.
Kilo Tango inbound for ILS approach runway 23.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango, good morning. Radar contact. Continue ILS to runway 23, call when established on final.
Continue ILS to runway 23, will call when established on final. TBM 1 Kilo Tango.
Here we are, starting our turn. Turning to final here. Should have visual of the runway soon. Runway 23. And once we make this turn, the plane should automatically switch to the localizer instead of GPS, as we are following an ILS approach. So the lines instead of magenta should become green. We'll see if that is what happens. Speed check below 178 knots. We can go one notch of flaps. There we go. Localizer. Let's arm the approach here. Everything turned to green. Localizer is captured. Glide slope not yet. We'll get there. As we get closer, that's how it is. There's the runway straight ahead. See it? Pappy lights, everything. It's a very tiny thing for the moment, but we're on our way. So far, so good. Hope I didn't just jinx it. We'll see. Wind is a bit weird. Oh, I really suck at crosswind landings. That's something I have not been able to practice yet, so I'm never able to put in any rudder when I land because I'm too busy just aligning myself in the first place. But yeah, we'll see. There we go. Landing gear down to help with the drag. Slow us down because we need to be at least at most 122 knots so we can lower flaps for landing. You can hear the sound that it makes when you have the landing gear deployed, more air coming in. That's thanks to XP Realistic. And you can also feel and see the flight deck shaking a bit more. That's also thanks to XP Realistic. This makes things so real. My goodness. I hope Flight Sim 2020 has this kind of feedback. You know, that's just that perfectly static when you're sitting behind like this. Slow it down. We need to slow down to 122 knots so we can deploy those flaps. There you go. Speed check. Flaps. One more notch down. Set that to landing. Push forward the yoke to counteract the natural tendency to lift up and pitch up when you start setting those flaps. And look at how different that is. Look at how much we are pitching down here. This is like what is this? 7.5 degree pitch down. Yeah, this plane really has a very different profile. Like you're really facing downward, pitching down when you're approaching like this. Approach speed should be around 90 knots. So let's slow it down a bit. From here I can remove yaw damper.
Aeroflot 203 runway intersection kilo line up runway 13 left and wait.
That's more like it. looks good. Localizer, we are in the middle. Glide slope is captured. I should have actually reported this already.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango established on final for ILS runway 23.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango winds are 252 at 8 knots, cleared to land runway 23.
Cleared to land runway 23 TBM 1 Kilo Tango.
Crosswind is not that bad, but for me that might be significant already. Yeah, look at how much we are crabbing right now. Well, it's not really much. Just a few degrees off. Oh yeah, I have to change my trim here. You can hear that subtle clicking. There you go. Okay, that's more like it. Because I noticed that if I don't trim properly, even if I pull on my yoke fully during the flare, it won't give me enough of a pitch up attitude for the flare, and then end up landing way harder than I wanted. So I have to trim like close to takeoff trim. That's what I found, just so I would have a chance of flaring properly. Otherwise, I would reach the edge of my pitch up on my yoke and it still wouldn't be enough. It's a bit weird. Slowing down a bit too much here. Focusing on many things. On the PAPI, too white, too red. My approach speed, trying to keep it close to 90 knots. Glide slope in localizer, make sure I'm making sure I'm in the middle. And I need to capture that. So I pitch down a bit more. Once I capture it, I go back to my proper rate of descent there. But when I start getting close enough, I would focus on the visual, what's right in front of me. And it seems like I am descending a bit too fast here. So let's try and catch up with that. Yes, the closer you get, the more sensitive the glide slope will be. And at some point, you have to stop focusing on that and focus what's in front of you. There you go. Alright, that looks good. Good approach. From here on out, it's all visual. Minimums land. There you have it. Okay. Throttle, flight idle.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango exit runway when able.
Butter. That was not bad. Floated just a little bit. I'll take it. Delta is coming up soon. Yeah, we can exit by Delta. I'll take that. Thank you. Looking good here. Right, high speed ramp, like there. High speed taxiway. Taxi lights. Flaps up. We can turn off the pitot and stall heaters. Turn off the bleeds. Make our way to the GA ramp.
Clear of active TBM 1 Kilo Tango.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango, stay with me until fully clear of active.
Wilco. TBM 1 Kilo Tango.
TBM 1 Kilo Tango, welcome to Glasgow, contact ground on 121.7. Have a good morning.
Ground on 121.7 TBM 1 Kilo Tango.
I won't bother with that. Let's just go there on our own, because that will get too much of a hassle. Now look at how amazing this is. Let me show you. With a big airport like this one, let me show you how amazing little nav map can be. So this is how the airport map looks like. We landed runway 23. We exited via taxiway Delta right here. We're right there right now, and you can see each taxiway. And this is reflective exactly of what is in Explain. So we take left turn to Golf, all the way through to Alpha, and then the GA, where was it? GA ramp. Earlier there was something like that. But yeah, there we go, the GA parking. So Alpha, turn right on Juliet. So you get all those details. That's something you won't get in the Navigraph charts. Or you can get it, but it's going to be not as consistent as you would have it here, because this one is the really Explain level accuracy. This is 1:1 with the sim. At least that's how I get it. And so far it hasn't failed me yet. Oh no, something's pushing back. British Airways, looks like, what is that, an A319? Let's overtake the guy. Probably not wise to stay in front of the... What is a small plane like me doing here? Stay away from the front of this guy. Where is he? Okay, he's far away from us. That's how nimble a small GA plane can be. That's my excuse. So this is Golf. As we turn left here, this should be Alpha. Let me try and look for the waypoints. This should be Alpha. I don't see any markers though. There is one right there. Alpha 3. Yeah, sometimes even those are not correct. Juliet is right here. The next right. And that's the GA parking, exactly. See? So far, little nav map has been super accurate. Even when it comes to the taxiways and even the actual parking spots is perfectly synchronized with Explain. It's amazing. Alright. Looks good. Let's just find a spot somewhere here. Try not hit this guy. Maybe here is fine. They'll anyway tow this out later to its proper parking spot. That should be okay. Parking brake is good. Go to flight idle like so. Proper cooling. Everything bleed is off already. Inertial separator can turn off now. Did I flick that properly? Yes, I did. Okay. Good. Low idle. Now there's a proper procedure here, like staying in high idle or low idle for a couple of seconds. I never got to memorize that. Doesn't seem to be hurting the plane so much, so I'll just stick with that for now. Just keep it basic. Looking good there. Awesome. That flight is finished, and our plane is finally home in Glasgow. There you go. I don't think we earned anything here because we didn't really carry anything. This is more like a ferry flight. But if you look at the log, yeah, I think I just lost $689. So this is the flight. We rented it, even if it's ours, we rent it on our own. And then fuel, We did get a distance bonus though, but net we lost 689. That's fine, at least now we're home. I'm not sure though, it doesn't seem like my money got reduced at all. But yeah, let's worry about that later. Anyway, so hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Tried to show you the full flight. Sorry if it was too much. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, have a nice day, and looking forward to more flight sim videos, especially when Vulkan fully updates gets released and when Flight Simulator 2020 goes out. What plane is that? 737-700 maybe? Wow. Anyway, thanks for watching, have a nice day, catch you in the next one. Clumsy flying, bye bye.